We've been touring quite hectic for many years. I don't know, 15 years or almost 20 years we've been like rolling. But when we were forced to do the big break, I mean, I liked it. I mean, I've never been home for 2 summers in a row, and to me personally, it was a pretty nice to get a break.
COVID kind of interfered. You know, we were in the middle of the Berserker touring cycle, so I was kind of disappointed to having to stay at home. But then my fiancée got pregnant, so now we have a kid. So that's really nice being home with him and them, of course. So that's the upside of it.
There were upsides to the COVID situation. I think for almost everyone in the world, I mean, except those who got really, really sick, obviously, but some people found some upsides to it because, you know, it kind of made you look at your life in different perspectives. So, but one thing that I felt about the COVID situation is that it sucked that we had to cancel the tour. But once it was evident that we couldn't go back to tour, it felt actually good to finally have some time off because it's been relentless, you know, touring, you know, riding, touring. It's the first time since I can't even remember when we actually had like not only one full summer at home, but 2 full summers at home. I mean, it's unheard of.
But also, I mean, hey, my dad passed away, and if I was touring, I would never been able to spend so much time with him during his last, his last time. Well, yeah. So with that sense, it was amazing.
Music-wise, I think it sucks, you know.
We kind of like realized this break is going to be too long for us to come back to the touring cycle with the Berserker albums. We just decided, okay, we end the cycle here and we start working on something new instead.
I mean, it's been nice to be home too, spend some time with the family and stuff, but now it's really, you really want to get back out on the road and play music again. You've been missing it for very much, for sure.
The Great Heathen Army is actually it's something that actually happened, but the characters, the leaders of them, are supposed to be the sons of Ragnar Lothbrok. And in 865, they go to England to avenge the death of their father. Now, Ragnar Lothbrok is probably a mythical character. He probably never existed. It could be a combination of several people. He's supposed to have been killed by being thrown into a pit with snakes, venomous snakes. There are no venomous snakes in England, by the way, just so you know. Just a thought, to put it out there. So anyways, in 865, they go to England to avenge his death and to conquer the whole country, basically. And they bring a fleet of, I think it's 200 ships and Viking ships and 10,000 men, basically. And they land in Mercia, and then they go north and conquer York, and then they conquer the whole country, and then there's only one part of the country left, which is Wessex. England was basically divided in two. You had the southern part, which was the Saxon areas, and then you had the Danelaw, which was like northern England, was the Viking areas. The Vikings invaded. Eventually, it would be like assimilation. They would, try to get along, and I think that's another strength of the Vikings is that they often moved to different places or went to different places, but they tried to assimilate with other people and kind of adopt the culture of where they were going, all that stuff.
Nah, not really. I think these days we don't have a rehearsal space. So we all have kind of like a small studio setups at our homes, and we have the same setups. We send files to each other.
You get an idea from somewhere, and then you start building on a small thing, and and then that rolls into a bigger ball. It's like you get 1,000 ideas, and then you boil it down, and it becomes 4 songs.
We're a convenient band these days. And also everybody in the band, we work in our own pace. Maybe I have 2 weeks, I'm just grinding stuff, and then maybe Johan, Söderberg and Ted, they're not into working on new songs when I'm into. So we all can work on our own pace, and that's, works for us.
The only thing that we did this time that actually differed from Berserker is that we rented a house up in the Swedish mountainside, kind of. It's like a ski resort. And we were there for a week brainstorming the new songs, pretty much. And not only the new songs, but ideas in general, some songs, some other stuff, and some other songs, of course. Like, we have this amount of songs. Which songs do we keep on the record? Which songs are we gonna focus on, and stuff like that. So we had a nice time up there. Then that was the only thing that really differs, I think.
No, I think actually we said that we wanted to go for a little darker approach. I mean, especially since we did the Rose song, that is kind of like a party, a tribute to our fans, a fun song. So we thought, that's gonna be it. And we did not want that to be part of the album, because we wanted the album to be a little more serious, maybe. And, like I said, a little darker, maybe back to a little how we used to sound like maybe 15 years ago.
That's the way we wanted to go. We did it intentionally. Not darker, like meaner, I don't think, but just the overall feeling of the album is darker. And that's on purpose.
We wanted to go a little bit backwards again, because when we did the Berserker, we aimed a little bit more sound-wise for old school, like more heavy metal sound, and a little bit more that kind of vibe over the whole album. And this time we kind of decided to do a little bit more death metal, go back a little, take one step back, and try to make the production a little bit more raw and heavy. And I think that's it's a good mix.
I don't know why we did it. I mean, probably because we felt like we needed to go back to not the roots, but we need to step back, because the Berserker was the heavy metal version, I think. So we needed to step it up a bit.
But I mean, if we have good ideas and it's not dark or heavy enough, and it still is Amon Amarth, and we like the ideas, then we do it. It's not like, no, we're only gonna do that or that. Whatever sounds great, that's what we work with. I think Andy is an amazing guy to work with, first of all. And also he's a great musician. And I think a band like us, we need that little extra push, that somebody who can, guide us technically a little bit. I mean, obviously we write all the songs, but when it comes to like guitar parts, like Andy's like, okay, maybe this part needs a wow wow, and maybe you should do something like this with this part, and maybe that kind of stuff that we're not really thinking about.
It's really easy going, It's like sitting down with your buddy, recording, and he's a really good guitar player too. So it's really good because he gives you input on your playing, and like, hey, maybe you should hold the pick a little like this instead. Try that and this, So you learn a lot recording with him.
It was great. He has, first of all, he's really talented, right? Both in recording and in the musical aspect. But he came with good ideas, really good input, and most importantly, very good feedback on your playing, which I loved. Because it was like, yeah, you're super tight in this part, but maybe you're slacking in this part, and maybe it's because of this fill that makes you go like off balance or something.
Berserker is pretty much exactly the way our demos were before we went to the studio. And when we work with Andy, it's more like he makes more small tweaks in the sound to make it, like I said, like maybe do that with a wow wow, and then you maybe, I don't know, maybe that, we lift the bass a little bit here, and so that gives another dimension. And so far we never worked with anybody that did that for us.
Well, the idea behind the album cover, I mean, we decided the title track was supposed to be The Great Heathen Army, and then we start brainstorming. What could you do, like cover-wise? We want to do, the Amon Amarth stuff we always have, with the artist drawing stuff. And of course, we need an army, but just an army without anything else. It's kind of like it's a little bit boring almost. And then we're looking at album covers like Kiss, Destroyer, and Man of War and stuff like that. We thought, if they can do it, we could do ourselves in the album cover.
Man of War has done it. Why can't we do it?
It's a controversial cover, I've heard. A lot of people, some people hate it, some people don't hate it as much.
And we had this photo from the Put Your Back Into the Oar video session. We had this photo of us dressed up in Viking gear. So we thought, like, maybe we base it on this photo, and we just add ourselves as the five leaders of the Great Heathen Army. We thought it was a cool idea. I mean, a bit cheesy, but I think I love it.
I really like the design of it, the color scheme of it, and pretty much every aspect of it. It's going to be a little weird to see myself there.
Personally, I think it's fun. It's a bit of a blink to like those album covers that we enjoyed when we were kids, like Destroyer from Kiss, for instance. But it's also meant to show like the army of the heathens, and the way we see it is that one thing that we're talking about when it comes to the Great Heathen Army is that all of us, metalheads, we are the Great Heathen Army. Whether you're in a band or you're going to shows, you're a part of the Heathen Army because we are fucking heathens. We like to party and, listen to metal and just be ourselves and don't care about the other shit, I think it's awesome. I mean, they're all heroes, obviously, and they're one of the big pioneer bands of the new wave of British heavy metal. So, their influence, along with bands such as Iron Maiden and Judas Priest, it's hard to overestimate, really. They're one of the greats, in my opinion, and to have them on our album is awesome.
That's a big deal. I'm not gonna deny that. I mean, I had posters above my bed when I was a kid so I mean, having Biff singing one of our songs, that's a big deal.
No, it's super cool to have, like your childhood idols kind of thing singing on the album. Because everybody in the band, I guess, listened to Saxon when we were kids. So that's super cool when he just, pops into the studio and sings on the track. So
it was cool that they wanted to do it, and I think it's a great song, and it was cool to do it with Biff as well, where I wrote the outline of the story and I sent him his part, and he wrote his own thing, and I think it came out absolutely fantastic. I think the way he goes into the song at that part, it really lifts the whole song. So I think it's awesome.
We met Biff and Saxon guys many times, but when he actually comes to the studio, it's a different thing. I mean, we were like, the evening before, the whole band was like, that's going to be so cool. And, when he got there, we all had like butterflies in our stomach, and, but he's such a cool guy and amazing singers. It was pure joy. So that was fun.
I think Saxons and Vikings definitely is one of the favorite ones. I think the title track, Great Heathen Army, is awesome. Actually, Serpent's Trail is one of my favorites as well. But honestly, it's hard to pick one that I don't like so much. it's easier to say like, all right, so this song is awesome, but not as awesome as that one, but they're all great in their own different way. I think actually in a way, with how this album turned out, I think it's a pretty diverse album, even though maybe not tempo wise, but with how the songs are.
Skagel rides with me. I usually like the songs that, I don't know, that's maybe not everybody else's favorite for some reason. I don't know.
Of course, I like Heathen because I'm a sucker for that kind of music. The party, fist in the air, drinking songs. That's kind of like the music I enjoy. And I also like the title track. I think that's kind of like more in your face. So I don't really have one favorite track.
Different days you feel differently. And I think a testament to the strength of this album is that when we were trying to pick the standout songs for the album, we couldn't agree because everybody had different thoughts and opinions. It's stupid, but that's because I think we have a really strong album with really strong songs on it. So. The first time I met him, anyways, was in Costa Rica. He was. We were on tour, and he was flying in to do one of those wrestling, tournaments in Costa Rica. So we met them at the airport, and then he came to the show later, in the evening. So yeah, that was pretty cool, and he's obviously a metalhead. He wrestles in band shirts, and he's had Amon Amarth shirts on numerous occasions.
He reached out to us and asked if we wanted to write a new entrance song for him, and yeah, of course. He's the coolest wrestler around.
We didn't want to, just take any riff and just put a song together. We wanted to make it a great song,
When I first heard it, I wanted to go punch something. I wanted to go to my gym and start lifting heavily. I'm not a cardio guy, but I wanted to run until I couldn't run anymore. It was, exciting, and the riffs were just crazy, and Johan's vocals are nuts, and it just makes you want to go fight somebody or watch somebody fight or watch somebody bleed.
Get in the ring, it's perfect for that kind of thing. But yeah. And obviously he was a part of he was Thor in the videos we did for Berserker as well. So
So yeah, but I'm not gonna tell what they are, but yeah, we have plenty of goals.
Yeah, we're gonna play on the moon.
Yeah, just play bigger shows, I think. And maybe open up for some bigger bands, maybe like Iron Maiden.
Yeah, obviously there's always goals you wanna reach, and I think if you stop having goals, then there's no drive anymore.
It's the thing about the band. It's like we always try to take it step by step, really. When we started out, we just wanted to, goof around, play metal and drink beer. And then you start getting your first shows. You play those little youth clubs at home, and then you start getting youth club shows in the greater Stockholm area. Then, we get signed to a small label. We release a CD. We get to play outside of Sweden. We get signed to Metal Blade. We get to go touring. And then, gradually, it's built up to the position where we are now. We've never really made any big leaps, even though maybe the leaps have been bigger and bigger. But yeah, it's always been a gradual process, and I think we always wanted to focus on where we are at the moment, and not so much on things that we want to accomplish in the future. An important part of our success is that we'd never gone ahead of ourselves. We always wanted to make the best of where we are right now, and then take all the lessons that we've learned from that and bring it into the next cycles so that we can grow as a band, both musically and performance-wise and everything. I am very excited. I think it's going to be a fucking awesome tour. I think it's going to be great. And I mean, Machine Head and us, we have, I guess, a slightly different like audience groups, obviously, but to bring that together and also have the halo effect on that bill, I think it's a really, really strong bill, and I think it's going to be an amazing show for all the fans who come out to the show. I'm super excited. Plus, we know the guys. I mean, we toured with them before, and yeah, they're great guys. So it's going to be super cool. We're going to have a lot of fun. So really looking forward to it.
One by one, your last fall, the crazy.